Hello friends, welcome to i-TUTOR NCERT series. Today we are going to discuss Class 12 Geography NCERT India, People and Economy Chapter 8 International Trade. Let's start. In 1950-1951, India's external trade was worth of rupees 1240 crore, but now which rose to rupees 77,19,796 crore in 2020-2021. There are numerous reasons for this sharp rise in the overseas trade, such as the momentum picked up by the manufacturing sectors, the liberal policies of the government, and the diversification of markets. The nature of India's foreign trade has changed over the years, though there has been an increase in the total volume of import and export. The value of import continued to be higher than the export. Okay, so India, the value of import that is continued to be higher than the export. Now, change patterns of the composition of India's exports. The composition of commodities in India's international trade has been undergoing a change over the years. In export, the share of agriculture and allied products and manufactured goods have decreased. Okay, so in export sector, the share of agriculture and the allied products and also the manufacturing goods have decreased, whereas share from the crude petroleum and products then other commodities have increased. The share of ore and minerals have largely remained constant over the years from 2015-16 to 2021-22. The decline in traditional items is largely due to the tough international competition. Okay, so there is a tough international competition. So that's why the decline is traditional items. Amongst the agricultural products, there is a decline in the export of traditional items such as cashew, etc. Though an increase has been registered in the floriculture products, fresh fruits, marine products, and sugar, etc. Okay, so there is a decrease in cashew, but at the same time, there is an increase have been registered in floriculture products, then fresh fruits, marine products, and sugar. Now, manufacturing sector alone accounted for 67.8% of India's total value of export in 2021-22. Engineering goods have shown a significant growth in the export. Okay, so the engineering goods, they show a significant growth in the export. China and other East Asian countries are our major competitors. Gems and jewelry contributes a larger share of India's foreign trade. Now, change pattern of the consumption of India's import. India faced serious food shortage during 1950s and 1960s. The major item of import at that time was food grains, capital goods, machinery and equipment. The balance of payment was adverse as import were more than export in spite of all the efforts of import substitution. After 1970s, food grain import was discontinued due to the successful of Green Revolution. Okay, so after 1970s, what we achieved Green Revolution and there is no need for food grain import. But the energy crisis of 1973 pushed the prices of petroleum and import budget was also pushed up. Food grain import was replaced by fertilizers and petroleum. Okay, so the food grain import was replaced by again fertilizers and petroleum. Machine and equipment, special steel, edible oil and chemical largely make the import basket. There is a rise in the import of petroleum products. It is used not only as a fuel but also as an industrial raw material. So the petroleum is not only used for fuel but also used as an industrial raw material. It indicates the tempo of a rising industrialization and better standard of living. Sporadic price rise in the international market is another reason for the same. It is also noticed that the import of capital goods maintained a steady decline. Import of food and allied products declined. Other major items of India's import include pearls, precious and semi-precious stones, gold and silver, non-metal ferrous minerals. Okay. Now, direction of trade. India has trade relations with most of the countries and major trading blocs of the world. India aims to double its share in the international trade within the next 5 years. It has already started adopting suitable measures such as import liberalization, reduction in the import duties, de-licensing, and change from process to product patent. Most of the India's foreign trade is carried through sea and air routes. However, a small portion is also carried through land route to neighboring countries like Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, and Pakistan. Okay, so most of the India's trade that is carried by sea and air route, but there is also some trades are still carried by the land route, that is from the neighboring countries. Examples: Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, and Pakistan. Now, seaports as gateway of international trade. India is surrounded by sea from three sides and is bestowed with the long coastline. Water provides a smooth surface for very cheap transport provided there is no turbulence. India has a long tradition of seafaring and developing many ports with a place named suffix with patent meaning port. An interesting fact about ports in India is that its west coast has more ports than in east coast. Okay, so the India's west coast has more ports than its east coast. Though ports have been in use since ancient times, the emergence of ports as gateways of international trade became important after the coming of European traders and colonization of the country by British. This led to the variation in the size and quality of ports. There are some ports which have a very vast area of influence and some have a limited area of influence. Okay, so some ports have a very vast area of influence, but some have limited areas of influence. At present, India has 12 major ports and 200 minor or intermediate ports. In case of the major ports, the central government decided the policy and placed regulatory functions. So, the central government is taking decisions and policies for the policies in the major ports. The minor ports are there whose policy and functions are regulated by the state governments. So, state governments control the minor ports, and while central government decides the policy and play regulatory functions in major ports. The major ports handled larger larger shares of the total traffic. The British used the ports as suction points of the resources from the hinterland. The extension of railways towards the interior facilitated the linking of local markets to regional markets to national markets, and national markets to the international markets. Okay, so from local markets to the regional markets, then regional markets to the national markets, and national markets to the international markets. This trend continued till 1947. It was expected that the country's independence will reverse the process, but the partition of the country snatched away two very important ports, that is Karachi port that went to Pakistan and Chittagong port to the erstwhile West Pakistan, that's now Bangladesh. Okay, so after the partition, India lost two very important ports. They are Karachi port and Chittagong port. To compensate the losses, many new ports like the Kandla in the west and the Diamond Harbour near Kolkata on river Hooghly in the east were developed. Despite this major setback, Indian ports continued to grow after the independence. Today, Indian ports are handling large volumes of domestic as well as overseas trade. Most of the ports are equipped with modern infrastructure. Previously, the development and modernization was the responsibility of the government agencies, but considering the increase in function and need to bring these ports at par with the international ports, private entrepreneurs have been invited for the modernization of ports in India. The capacity of Indian ports increased from 20 million tons of cargo handling in 1951 to 837 million tons in 2016. Some of the Indian ports along with their hinterland as follow. First one is the Deen Dayal port or the Kandla port. Situated at the head of Gulf of Kutch, has been developed as a major port to cater to the needs of western and northwestern parts of the country and also to reduce the pressure at Mumbai port. The port is specially designed to receive large quantities of petroleum and petroleum products and fertilizer. Okay, so the main purpose of the port, that is to receive large quantities of petroleum and petroleum products and also fertilizers. The offshore terminal at Vadinar has been developed to reduce the pressure at the port. Now, demarcation of the boundary of the hinterland would be difficult as it is not fixed over space. In most of the cases, hinterland of one port may overlap with that of the other. Now, second one is the Mumbai. Mumbai is a natural harbour and the biggest port of the country. Okay, so Mumbai is a natural harbour and the biggest port of the country. The port is situated closer to the general routes from the countries of Middle East, Mediterranean countries, North Africa, North America and Europe, where the major shares of countries' overseas trade is carried out. The port is 20 km long and 6 to 10 km wide, 54 berths, and has the country's largest oil terminal. Okay, country's largest oil terminal. Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Gujarat, UP and parts of Rajasthan constitute the main hinterlands of Mumbai ports. Okay, so the port is 20 km long and it's 6 to 10 km wide and it has 54 berths. Next one is the Jawaharlal Nehru port. Nehava Sheva was developed as a so the Jawaharlal Nehru port at Neva Sheva, that was developed at a satellite port to relieve the pressure at the Mumbai port. It is the largest container port in India. So the Jawaharlal Nehru port is the largest container port in India. Next one, Marmagao port. Situated at the entrance of Zuri estuary, is a natural harbour in Goa. It gained significance after the remodeling in 1961 to handle iron ore exports to Japan. Construction of Konkan Railway has considerably extended the hinterland of this port. Karnataka, Goa, southern Maharashtra constitute its hinterland. Next one is the New Mangalore port. That is located in the state of Karnataka and caters to the needs of the export of iron ore and iron concentrates. It also handles fertilizers, then petroleum products, edible oils, coffee, tea, wood pulp, yarn, granite stone, molasses, etc. Karnataka is the major hinterland for this port. Okay, so that is the New Mangalore port. Next one is the Kochi port. Situated at the head of Vemanad Gayal, popularly known as the Queen of the Arabian Sea. Okay, so the Kochi port is known as Queen of the Arabian Sea. It's also a natural harbour. This port has an advantageous location being close to Suez-Colombo route. It caters to the needs of Kerala, southern Karnataka and southwestern Tamil Nadu. Next one, Kolkata port is located in the Hooghly River on a 128 km inland from the Bay of Bengal. Like the Mumbai port, this port was also developed by the British. Okay, so the Kolkata port was also developed by British. Kolkata had the initial advantage of being the capital of British India. The port has lost its significance considerably on account of the diversion of export to the other ports such as Visakhapatnam, Paradip and its satellite port Haldia. Kolkata port is also confronted with the problem of silt accumulation on the Hooghly River, which provides a link to the sea. Its hinterland covers UP, Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Sikkim and the northeastern states. Apart from this, it also extends port facilities to our neighboring landlocked countries such as Nepal and Bhutan. So it also extends port facilities to our neighboring countries. They are Nepal and Bhutan. Next one is the Haldia port, located 105 km downstream from Kolkata. It has been constructed to reduce the congestions at the Kolkata port. It handles bulk cargo like iron ore, coal, petroleum products and fertilizers, jute products, cotton and cotton yarn, etc. Next one is Paradip port, situated in the Mahanadi Delta about 100 km from the Cuttack. It has the deepest harbour, specially situated to handle very large vessels. Okay, so it has the deepest harbour. It has been developed mainly to handle large-scale export of iron ore. Then Odisha, Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand are the parts of its hinterland. Next one is the Visakhapatnam port. That's in Andhra Pradesh is a landlocked harbor. Okay, so Visakhapatnam port is a landlocked harbor connected to the sea by a channel cut through solid rock and sand. An outer harbor has been developed for handling iron ore, petroleum and general cargo. Andhra Pradesh and Telangana are the main hinterland for this port. Next one is Chennai port. It is one of the oldest port on the eastern coast. So Chennai port is the oldest port on the eastern coast. It is an artificial harbor built in 1859. It is not much suitable for large ships because of the shallow waters near the coast. So there is shallow waters near the coast. So because of that, it's not much suitable for the large ships. Tamil Nadu and Puducherry are its hinterland. Next one, Ennore. A newly developed port in Tamil Nadu has been constructed 25 km north of the Chennai to relieve the pressure at the Chennai port. Next, Tuticorin port. It was also developed to relieve the pressure of Chennai port. Deals with a variety of cargo including coal, salt, food grains, edible oils, sugar, chemicals and petroleum products. Okay. Now, airports. Air transportation plays an important role in the international trade. It has the advantage of taking the least time for carriage and handling high value or perishable goods over long distance. It is very costly and unsuitable for carrying heavy and bulky commodities. Okay, so the air transport is costly and it's unsuitable for carrying heavy and bulky commodities. This ultimately reduces the participation of this sector in the international trade as compared to the oceanic routes. There were 25 major airports functioning in the country. They are Ahmedabad, Bengaluru, Chennai, Delhi, Goa, Guwahati, Hyderabad, Kolkata, Mumbai, Thiruvananthapuram, Srinagar, Jaipur, Calicut, Nagpur, Coimbatore, Cochin, Lucknow, Pune, Chandigarh, Mangaluru, Visakhapatnam, Indore, Patna, Bhubaneswar and Kannur. Since 2017, under the Udan scheme, a total number of 73 unserved or undeserved airports, including 9 heliports and 2 water aerodromes, have been operationalized. Okay, so that's about the transport system in India. So the chapter is over. If you have any doubts, you can comment below. For more videos, do like, share, subscribe.